Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! The Crimson Tide will not be denied. True freshman to true freshman. Tagovailoa to Devontae Smith. Alabama breaks Georgia hearts.
Oh, and then some passings today. Booker T. Washington passing away on this date, 1915. Some holidays observances today. It is International Selfie Day. How about that? Don't hurt yourself taking a selfie. That off.
I bought a selfie stick for when I went to Vegas last time.
Really?
Never bought one before. Yeah, I bought a selfie stick.
Did you use it?
I did use it. I recorded.
You were one of those people.
I recorded a couple of videos. Yes, Bob.
Walking around holding the stick in front of you?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, when I see people doing that,
you think they're idiots.
Well, I suddenly hope they get hit by a car.
Yeah, why did
if you're going to be walking on the sidewalk, I hope you just kind of stumble out and get smoked. If you're that self-indulging that you're going to walk around with a selfie stick.
It was for my my podcast, content for my podcast. That's all. It was good. It was good content.
Was it good content?
Yes, it was. Actually, no, Bob, it was great content.
As per you or others?
Yes.
Exactly. What else we have? National American Teddy Bear Day, National Family PJ Day, Guacamole Day. How about that as well? And this is a big one for you, Thitoff. World Diabetes Day.
Oh, there we go.
So celebrate big time.
Go out and get diabetes.
Check your blood sugar and check it off. And Wilford Brimley told me that. And those are historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays observances for this date, November 14th, the 318th day of the year, and AJ Hawk days remaining until we wrap up this 2025.
How many days? 47 days?
47 days.
Huh.
About 40 till Christmas.
Right. That's okay. I hear that, and I thought 47 till Christmas before the end of the year. Yeah. We did get the audio back up and running now.
There we go. Good job, Mo.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff going on over there.
I was sweating there for a second.
That's all right.
Give the shout out to Ben though.
Ben gets it done. Ben absolutely gets
he's quality.
Done. Yes.
That's why, don't even try to fix it. Just send out a text and then start trying to fix it. And if you get it fixed before then, that's great. But Ben can usually figure that all out.
He definitely did.
Bob, this is record time, I think, for us getting out of this first segment.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on over there with Mo. And so I was trying not to overwhelm him with, he's trying to get the audio back on the air.
Right.
So him playing the stuff, I don't know who's hearing what the clips were playing. If no one's hearing any of it, so I thought that was more pertinent. So I was going to try to get to break and allow him to kind of juggle that around and figure that out.
That's a pro for you. That right there is a veteran move, Bob. I don't know if it was down on Facebook and Twitter.
It was on Facebook.
It was okay on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook you could hear.
Okay.
Just the YouTube.
It was just the YouTube. So the YouTubers staying with us, we appreciate that. The chat is alive and well. Bobby engaging with Steve Kerr. Not sure if that's the best idea or not.
Fine. I got no problem with it. I'll throw a comment at him every now and then.
I did.
Instead, Ohio State's got scrimmages the next 2 weeks. It's like, well, I mean, Notre Dame had been playing scrimmages since week 2, so.
Steve Kerr, the original person we've muted before. I had to mute somebody yesterday for 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you muted someone yesterday.
I did yesterday. It was a big deal. Some dude named, I think it was Andrew Savage was his name on the chat. And
Eddie Haskell?
He chimed in with something about about Bone and Tyvus' show, like he was in the wrong chat. And
how could you be in the wrong chat?
Dude, he put on there, he said, where are Bone and Tyvus? What show? What is this show? And then he put something about like how, I think he put something out there that said, hey, I think they're playing an ESPN feed on here when it was me and Jay-Z, Justin Zwick. And then somebody called him out for it and he said, you're welcome, ding dongs or something to us. And so I just muted him.
Why would you mute him based upon that? I don't think that's a mutable offense.
Because he called our chatters ding dongs.
That's the worst. That's the worst offense.
That right there, that's a step too far for me, Bob. Coming up next, we'll get some insights from Lee Sterling on what to bet on this weekend. We will do that. This is Morning Juice.
Hey, does this sound like you where every step or reach is a reminder that it hurts? The pain is there. A reminder of what you're not able to do, how far you've drifted from that life you used to have and love where you didn't have the pain. Listen, if this is you, if this is a family member, you need to talk to them about it. You need to do what I did and go to QC Kinetics. They've got the answers for you, the relief without the scalpel, without the surgery. At QC Kinetics, they tap into your body's own regenerative power. the damaged tissue, it can be healed by itself. It's not science fiction. It's your body's comeback story. The very cells in your body can help you get healed with no surgery, no pills, no long recovery, just remembering how to move and feel alive again so you can golf, hike, do all the stuff you love to do. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus or 380-208-4544. They have offices all over Columbus, so be sure to check them out at 380-208-4544.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby and Tito, Morning Juice. Big Mo over there. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Can you hear us out there, YouTubers? Steve Kerr says, take it easy on him. He went to Miami, Ohio. I think he's playing on the fact that your dad went to Miami.
No.
I think he's trying to get sympathy from you on that.
It's okay. We're good.
So
I said, listen, you got to just throw facts out there, and facts are the facts. It's okay. Listen, I love Marcus Freeman. I enjoy Notre Dame, but I'm not going to listen to him sit there and talk about a vicious schedule as if Notre Dame, after their first two games, have played anybody difficult.
Did you hear what Dan Orlovsky said yesterday?
Oh, man.
About Ohio State?
I did.
They're the least.
I respect Dan, but I'm curious to hear where this is going.
Ohio State is the least tested number one team in college football history.
That might be a bold statement.
Yeah, I can remember a BYU
I think I have
team.
the audio here.
Oh, do you? You got it?
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I know that you could say BYU, those old Oklahoma teams, and they'd be rolling for the Big Eight before they played Nebraska. You know,
when
the Big Eight was awful back then, except for Oklahoma in the Cornhuskers.
Here we go.
All right, say.
The least tested number one team in the history of college football. They played nobody. I mean, week one, Texas. Ever since then, they haven't played anybody. I don't know if they played a team that's ranked right now since Texas. They have been trailing for 1 second in the second half this year. We have no idea who this Ohio State team, very good team, quarterback's a really good player. Jeremiah Smith's best player in college football. We have no idea who Ohio State is, like down 4 in the fourth quarter.
I don't know if that's necessarily the end part of that. I don't know if that is an untruth when you look at that. I mean, they've never been down 4 in the fourth quarter because
Can we just accept maybe that this team has just been that dominant and is that good?
I don't disagree with that, Mo. What I do, and I don't disagree with the end of Dan's statement. They've never been down 4 in the fourth quarter. You have to find out who they are. Now, that's a function of them being really good and really efficient, and it's a little bit of a function that their schedule hasn't been all that great. Now, part of it is Penn State fell apart. He's like, other than playing Texas, well, they're 10th in the country. So it's like, it's like you sat there and played a team that was ranked 20th and you got to win. I mean, we're sitting there talking about Texas potentially, making the playoff, being whatever, one of the most talented squads. And by the way, when you played them, they were a top 3 team. And then they lost to Florida after that. But they've kind of battled their way back. Now they have a tough stretch to the end of their season. But if they, win or do whatever, you can't have two things true at the same time. One being where they are never tested. Well, they're really good. That's part of the reason why they've never been tested. And then the other part of it is the fact that you can't control who you played and what they ultimately look like. So, I mean, I don't blame Dan for saying that. I also, part of what he said is true, but saying they're the least tested in, like, maybe this season, you could argue that.
Yeah.
I don't like to make these hyperbolic statements of least tested in the history of college football.
I immediately thought.
When you go back to some of the Miami teams that they play.
Right.
We played the team in 2002. I mean, they didn't play anybody. They played in the Big East, dude. They steamrolled everybody.
The 1984 BYU Cougars, who ended up being number 1 in the country, they started off their season and they played on the road at then number 3 Pitt and beat them to start the season. By the way, Pitt finished that season 3-7-1.
That's good.
So it's kind of, they
wrecked their season.
Yeah. So after that, they beat Baylor, Tulsa, Hawaii, Colorado State, Wyoming, Air Force, New Mexico, UTEP, San Diego State, Utah State, and then they beat a Michigan in the Holiday Bowl, a Michigan team that was very mediocre. They beat them 24-17. So I would contend that one. And you can go back and look at some of the Oklahoma teams like 85 when they were number 1, the teams they played against. And like you mentioned, yes, those Miami teams, some of those also as well. Now we are joined here on Morning Juice by Lee Sterling. Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. Good morning, Lee. And curious, let's get things started off here. How'd you do last week with your picks?
Yeah, we had a great week. Maybe a weird week also would be a better way to describe it. In college football, we go 4-3. Had all 3 games we lost were by a half a point. So
the hook will kill you.
Like 8 or 9 games. How good are the odds makers? Lost them by a half point in the NFL. Great week, 4-1. What was interesting, though, look at the game last night. If you got in early and you got a good line on New England, 12.5 early in the morning to early afternoon. If you waited too late, 13, and you ended up with a push. So that's why it's always important to get have a couple outs if possible. That half a point and make a difference over the course of the season.
All right, let's talk about the college football slate for tomorrow. Michigan's taking on Northwestern. Michigan is laying 11.5 in that one. What's your thoughts on that game? It's at Wrigley Field, I believe, too.
Yep, it is. And you got to think that Michigan's going to run the football here, the way that Northwestern gives up rushing yards. So I think that's what they need to work on following. Also, their closer than expected win over Purdue. That's what buys are for here. Going to be a lot of Michigan fans at the game. So I think they're going to have to, like I said, use the run to set up the pass here. Northwestern's been much more competitive, I think, than most people would have expected. So I think Michigan ends up pulling away here, 35-17 in Wrigley. Probably a few fans left over from the Cubs playoff that just kind of just stayed there for the last 6 weeks.
There we go. Another big one with USC taking on Iowa. I believe this one is going to be out in California, but it's supposed to be raining a lot out there from what I've been told.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like 100% chance of rain. And if it was a clear track, I would certainly like USC a lot more here. But they can run the football. King Miller and Wayman Jordan combined for over 1,200 yards so far this year. Impressive. Averaging 7.9 and 6.5 yards. What makes them different than teams that pass for USC is their defense. Last year, only 21 sacks for the entire year. This year, they're averaging almost 3 sacks per game and 1 interception per game. I just don't know how you get up after losing a game like Iowa lost last week. It has got to be really tough here. And USC, very good at home this year, 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. The only non-cover was with like 2 minutes to go when Michigan State threw a 75-yard bomb. So sometimes you got to lay it when you want to play it. If the weather gets better, I'll obviously like it more, but I still would favor probably USC a little bit. You guys want to add the Notre Dame game? Talk about that?
Let's do that, yes.
I think that's going to be an interesting game. Pat Narduzzi, so he says that the game means nothing. Come on, let's be truthful. He's lying. I'm going to give you a scenario. If they lose this game and at Georgia Tech and then lose to Miami, they're 7-2. Narduzzi could be 7-5 and out. So let's see if that plays into the scenario. But I think that Pitt's got problems here, even though I love their young freshman quarterback. If they were on the road, they might just get totally blown out. But Notre Dame has some quality wins. I mean, they won over USC by double digits, destroyed the last 6 opponents by an average of 26 points a game here. I just think that Pittsburgh here, once they get behind, probably be forced into some mistakes here. And I just think Notre Dame just solid almost every position. Give me Notre Dame 35-20.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joining us here. And here in Columbus this weekend, it's a night game. UCLA is coming to town. I believe I read, Bobby, that they're both going to wear their home uniforms. There was talk about doing that. They're both wearing. So you'd see the blue out there for UCLA. How do you see that game playing out, Lee?
Well, they got nice uniforms, but I mean, allowing running back to catch 2 long touchdowns. This team has a lot of weaknesses, and Ohio State's offense can really expose them here. Also, another team where when they get behind, usually have problems. If they can play with you and give them credit, they did come back last week and make a game of it. But giving up too many yards per carry, running the football also, I think Ohio State wins this game big, 45-17.
Oh,
so you got UCLA covering in that one then. Okay.
And then little NFL action here in the AFC North. Joe Burrow is now practicing with the team, will not be playing on Sunday. But Bengals, I know, trying to make a late season push. Steelers are trying to get things corrected. Steelers minus 5.5. How do you see that one?
Yeah, so the first game was certainly interesting. Joe Flacco looked unbelievable in that game, but he's got a sprained AC joint. Got to be tough for a quarterback here. Still, the team is 1-3 in his starts. Solo win, obviously, was against the Steelers here. Aaron Rodgers just looked awful in the second half. They should have traded for a receiver. They keep rotating guys in that second and third spot, getting absolutely no production here. Trey Hendrickson looks like edge rusher, still out here. That's a problem here. Just think that Cincy with no pressure here. Shamar Stewart, what were they doing drafting this guy? He's now doubtful for this game. If he plays in this game, it'll be 11 straight games, first-round pick, no sacks. You get guys a lot of times looking for guys, interior linemen, just tough to figure out who's going to be the guy for you. I think Pittsburgh, they're like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde here, 30-17, have a good offensive game, win and cover here. Oh, I have something to show. Bobby will like this. Went through my brother's storage locker. If you guys can see this.
Oh, yeah. Oilers
the
Dolphins.
program from the 60s. In the Astrodome. So my dad was the dentist for the Dolphins and also the University of Miami. Some of the ads like Astro World.
Oh yeah,
Houston.
Right.
I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Some of the stuff he built. So my brother, I was a quarterback. He was the tailback. I was a Cowboys fan and a Dolphins fan. My uncle was a scout for the Cowboys. Actually, he found Drew Pearson. He was the scout that found him. He also owned Lusky's Western Wear. If you remember, the Western Wear store became Ryan's, and so we found in a storage locker he had built a Euler derrick for some math project. Talk maybe isosceles triangles and stuff. So. He was proud of that. We pulled that out. It was still in good shape. So that was probably his 8th, 9th grade math project to build an Euler derrick, and some great times. I'm looking through the program like Oldsmobile was, boy, you were driving around in a Dodge or an Oldsmobile. You were living the good life. So Remember what car your dad had when he played for the Oilers? Bobby?
He had a Thunderbird back in the day. Yeah, before
there you go.
Had a bunch of kids. So yeah, that was him and my mom's sports car. They really enjoyed that.
How do people get your game of the week this week?
Yep, game of the week is going to be Indiana, Wisconsin. What an upset last week. Wisconsin over Washington might have derailed Jed Fish's plans maybe to move on. He moves on every 3 or 4 years, it seems like. So you want to find out Indiana, Wisconsin, just call 800-400-9741. Give you the game for free. We're on a 31-9 run now in the NFL. It's called Lee's NFL Sunday Golden Ticket. 5 NFL games every single Sunday for a month, just $197. Also a big UFC card from Madison Square Garden. Check it all out, ParamountSports.com.
Appreciate it, Lee. We'll talk again next week.
Okay, guys. Take care. Be safe.
That was Lee Sterling there from Paramount Sports, joining us every Friday at this time.
Do you need a bank that truly values local businesses in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals, whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale. Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Coming up next, do some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Get ready for big savings this season at Germain Toyota. Drive home a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with 2.99% APR for up to 72 months, plus get $1,000 in customer cash. Or take the wheel of a 2026 Toyota Camry LE. Lease it for just $269 a month for 36 months with 10,000 miles a year and $32.99 due at signing. Whether it's power or performance you're after, Germain Toyota has the deal to get you there in style. Visit Germain Toyota at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Now coming at you live on YouTube with audio, Bob.
Yeah,
You
we
can
got
hear
that
us now.
corrected about I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so ago.
Yeah. It's good.
Big Mo was on it.
Yeah. Let's do some quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Big Mo, work your magic.
Well, the NFL has filed a grievance against the NFL Players Association. They're asking the union to stop its annual team report cards, and they're saying that the exercise violates the collective bargaining agreement by airing public criticism of teams. Bobby, I'm going to throw this one at you. What is your opinion on that? Should they stop doing that, or do you think that the NFL is overblowing this whole thing?
Here's the issue: is nobody likes to get criticized, especially when you are a billionaire. And this is the problem: is a lot of these owners, not all, but the new ones that have come in have invested heavily in their facilities. They do great things for their families. They take care of people. And if you're Mike Brown and no one likes you because, your organization is run second rate, people put that out there. And now they don't enjoy hearing about it. And they don't enjoy getting criticized publicly about it. And here's the thing, this isn't them pulling public criticism. This is players. This is their employees. And this is the only way teams have started doing things. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, they had some poor, despite winning a couple Super Bowls, they had some poor reports on these report cards, if you will, and poor grades. And with that, they started renovating their facility, improving the quality of their food, the family atmosphere, and different things like that you get. And those things are vital and critical because you can complain all you want when you're a player there. And some of the bigger name players have a little more sway to get stuff done. But there was no childcare at some of the games. And then we start going to other. I played for a number of teams, so you start to see the differences in what certain teams offer, and it is a wide swath of what is out there. And so I understand this. They can complain all they want, but it's a handful of the owners that don't like it. The guys that are doing great, they love getting good grades.
So the ones who got grades of D or worse most recently, as far as the ownership grades of D or worse, were Woody Johnson from the Jets, Art Rooney of the Steelers, Robert Kraft from the Patriots, Michael Bidwell of Arizona, and David Tepper of Carolina. They all got grades.
It's pretty wild because a lot of those organizations are very successful.
And one owner told ESPN that the only owners who don't care for the report cards are the ones who get subpar grades. Woody Johnson didn't necessarily surprise me. Neither did Tepper or Bidwell, but Kraft and Rooney kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, because it's interesting. That's just one of the grades.
That's ownership. Yeah, that's just ownership
grades, and manager. There's a bunch of other things that they put in there, and I think most recently the Kraft grade. That's probably more indicative of the handling of the Belichick-Mayo Vrabel transition. Right. I guarantee you it would be a lot better this year. When you're winning, it's always better.
Sure.
And the Rooneys is probably similar to the fact that they've trotted out some terrible quarterbacks over the past couple of years, and it didn't seem like they were putting themselves in a position to win.
I thought about that yesterday, Bob, with the quarterback thing and how, we see what's happened now where Russell Wilson's the third-string quarterback for the Giants, and he's looked awful. Fields has had his struggles in New York, but I still think Fields is a good quarterback. But nonetheless, though, some of the decisions they've made there at that position, Rodgers is playing better this year than I think people expect him to, but they're still struggling.
They at least went to try to fix it and improve it.
They did, but they had a little run there where when they drafted, who was the guy they drafted out of Syracuse? Who was the quarterback they drafted? Pickett.
Yeah.
Right, Kenny Pickett.
From Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt, not Syracuse. You're right, Pitt. I got confused there. But Pickett, though, was a disaster pick for them. And they haven't had, they haven't been able to really string together any kind of quarterback play consistently since Roethlisberger.
Matchroom Boxing says that they are in talks with Jake Paul's most valuable promotions over a possible fight between the social media influencer and Anthony Joshua. Paul has been scheduled to fight lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis in an exhibition match on November 14th, but that was canceled because Davis had a domestic violence lawsuit filed against him by his former girlfriend. Joshua is a former WBO, WBA, and IBF heavyweight world champion, having won the Olympic gold medal at the London 2012 Games. Tito, What do you think is the draw here for people wanting to see Jake Paul get in a fight? Is it because they want to see him get his butt whooped?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it is. I think that's why I would tune in for this one. If I would pay for it. If it's free on Netflix, which I know I'm paying for it technically. But anyway, I think Anthony Joshua would destroy him. And Josh was in talks also to fight Tyson Fury again next year. So like this guy still he's lost a few fights. I get that, but he is not. It's not like a Mike Tyson thing. This dude's legit.
He's still in his prime.
Yes, he might maybe not his prime, but he's still prime-ish. He's not washed up. Let's put it that way. And he's bigger than Jake Paul.
Oh, much bigger. He's a heavyweight.
Right? Yeah. He was talking about fighting the other guy who was like a middleweight or lightweight, whatever he was, Davis. But anyway, I hope this happens. And I hope Jake Paul gets his butt kicked. I would watch it, Bob. I know you and I are kind of in the same boat, and we don't support what Jake Paul's doing as far as we don't really care for it.
I dislike the Paul brothers immensely. I know I've heard that they're nice and great guys to work with, but I mean, watching him get his butt beat in there where he thinks that he's tough, like by a real boxer, that would be awesome. That's why I pay for him.
And by the way, the flip side of it, though, I would be so angry if he won. I would just hate how much press he would get for winning. But I would hope that, I know like with Tyson, they had like gloves that had more padding in them than they normally would have and things like that. They had a bunch of concessions. I want to see him just fight a legitimate fight against a legitimate fighter with like real rules and real everything else and see him get his butt kicked.
The rebuilt Pac-12 has completed the latest part of and the final portion of its new media rights deal, partnering with USA Sports, which is the USA Network, on a 5-year agreement beginning next fall. So USA Sports will broadcast 22 regular season Pac-12 football games each season, 50 regular season men's basketball games, and 5 to 10 regular season women's basketball games. It will also air the men's basketball tournament up until the championship game, which will be on CBS. The Pac-12 will produce all games on USA Sports. Now, USA Sports has been moved away from NBC, who owned it. It's Versant Media Company now. So it's its own thing. Bobby, is the Pac-12 able to even get relevant again with everything that they've lost?
No. There's zero. I mean, they're basically branding the Mountain West as the Pac-12 now, plus Oregon State and Washington State. There's not really anyone that's going to be watching this stuff. That's why the league broke up to begin with. I mean, there was no one that went to the games outside of Utah, Washington, and Oregon, and very few people watched the games on TV out in those regions. The people that watch the games are the people that live in the Midwest and the South. So I have no desire to really watch a lot of Washington State football or Oregon State football or basketball up there, for heaven's sake. If there's a great game on at some point, I might stumble across it. But, yeah, they're not going to be able to piece anything of substance together. Like, I respect them for trying. And, listen, everybody loves live content. It's the only thing that you must watch TV anymore, sitting down and viewing it. But there's not a whole lot there.
You've got Boise State joining, Fresno State, Colorado State, Gonzaga, San Diego State, Texas State, and Utah State be the ones joining in that, taking them to that'd be 10 teams at that point. I'm with you, Bob. I can't think of the last time I saw it out an Oregon State game. I don't think I've done that maybe in my life. Washington State hasn't been relevant, it seems like, forever. So yeah, I know good for them getting the steal they got. I just don't see it as they're not going. It's not going to be a Power 5 all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It's still going to be the Power 4.
Yeah. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to spread college football out more. It's consolidation is what is occurring.
Yeah. So this right here, and I'm trying to think like in basketball. Yes, Gonzaga. Okay, they're interesting. San Diego State's interesting in basketball as well. But
what was the last time you watched a regular season college basketball game that didn't include Ohio State? The whole thing.
A whole thing.
All 40 minutes.
I mean,
soup to nuts.
NCAA tournament, I've done that.
To finish.
NCAA tournament, I've done that.
I said regular season.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just said that.
I did use regular season last time I watched a full game. Okay, I'm trying to think, Bob.
Non-Ohio State.
Non-Ohio State game. You're right. I don't watch. There's really not many games I watch start to finish anyway.
The answer is I can't remember.
Well, yeah, but I don't watch many things start to finish anyway, like where I stay there just in its entirety.
I'm not saying without even you can flip around.
Okay. Yeah.
When was the last time you put on something and you saw the beginning, most of the game, and then you were there for the end of it?
Non-Ohio State, probably years. Yeah.
How many, you think?
Oh, probably 3 or 4.
I bet it's longer than that.
I
I haven't watched an entire non-Ohio State college basketball game, excluding tournament games, in probably a decade.
Oh, okay.
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
And I used to sit down when I was younger and watch on CBS all the games on Saturdays and Sundays, all the Big Ten games, and knew all the players at all the different schools. There's just no appeal to it now.
And in the CFP, we have a change in the management. The CFP Management Committee has formally approved the return of Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan to its selection committee and named current committee member and Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek as its new chair. This comes hours after Baylor Athletic Director and Selection Committee Chair Mack Rhodes took a leave of absence from his job for personal reasons amid a university investigation.
That's always good.
Yeah, it's
personal reasons amid an investigation.
Personal reasons usually either involves an extramarital affair or some sort of money laundering, I would imagine. But
maybe he was involved in a good old-fashioned cover-up, Mo.
Could be. Baylor's had a few of those over the years. Tito, do you think it's smart of them to bring back Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek as its chair, or should they have maybe looked inside and tried to pick somebody else that's already there?
I think since it's already, the process is ongoing right now as far as it's already started and everything, I think it probably makes sense to bring in somebody from before who's done it. But Adam Rittenberg said that, from ESPN, said Baylor told him that they got allegations about Rhodes on Monday. And he said, they said in their statement, the allegations do not involve Title IX, student welfare, or NCAA rules, and does not involve the football program. So
it could be the basketball program.
Right. They did say football program. Yeah. So I don't,
Wasn't it Baylor where they had one of their players murder somebody else?
One murdered the other one. Yes, that happened at Baylor.
And then they had the head football coach who was Art Briles, who was
that's right,
as dirty as you could get.
Yeah. So it's I'm curious how. It must be rather serious if they are, if they're putting him on leave like that, or taking him out of that while they're investigating this out of the CFP. But yeah, Bob, I'm okay with them bringing in somebody who's already done it before in the CFP. It's one voice, I get it, but I
just liked his name was Mack Rhodes. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Mack Rhodes is a good name. You're right about that.
I feel like he was an oil man at one time.
I think he was related to Dusty, actually.
To the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
Could very well be the case, yes. But, so it's not going to have much of an impact. I mean, look, I can't believe it would have much of an impact on how this thing plays out, because I still think it should be pretty cut and dried on. There's not much. I mean, there'll be some drama coming up with some of these games we have like this weekend.
But he's just the mouthpiece. It's not like that guy is the one that makes the final decisions on anything. They're just simply one part of it, like everybody else is.
Yeah.
They just have to go to the guillotine to Reese Davis and answer questions every week.
Did you see, Bob, where Shohei Ohtani yesterday, unanimous winner.
Is there another Ohtani I should be thinking
No, I'm
about?
sorry, you're right.
Ohtani.
Bobby Ohtani also is in the minor league system, I believe, for the Guardians. But anyway, Shohei, unanimous for the fourth time, getting all the votes there. He's a fourth MVP. I'm sorry, unanimous winner, but his fourth MVP, though, in 5 years is what he's got there. And Aaron Judge ended up knocking out the big dumper, Cal Riley.
The big dumper.
Which is one of the best nicknames in sports. But
really
I've been called that before. Whole different reason.
I thought that was Amber Heard.
Amber Heard.
That's a good call right there.
She's the blonde dumper. It's similar, but just a little bit. They both start with B, yes. But the Judge and Cal Riley vote was much closer. Obviously, unanimous. Judge beat him out 355 to 335. Judge got 17 of the 31st place votes, and Raleigh got 17 of the 32nd place votes. There were only two people to be named first and second. Jose Ramirez came in third. Bobby Witt was fourth in that one, but Ramirez from the Guards got 19 of the third place votes to finish behind those guys. But The Aaron Judge thing, I thought it was interesting because, you have Judge and Ohtani, and they both, this year especially, I know Judge spent time at DH, and Ohtani spends a lot of time at DH. And I always try to balance that, Bob, with how
You were saying that Ohtani shouldn't pitch. You said he was selfish for pitching.
I didn't say he was selfish for pitching.
I believe the term selfish came out of your mouth.
I talk about selfish when I talk about the NBA players in the Olympics. What I said was I thought that they should not pitch Ohtani until he was 100% ready to go on a regular schedule.
I don't know what that means.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, Bob,
so how do you go from 0 to 100? Why can't they just work him in and start giving him 3, 4, 5 innings?
Well, that's what they did, have him go 2, 3, 4 innings. I'm saying usually
it seemed to work out pretty well for him.
It worked out fine for them, Bob. But usually when pitchers are coming back from injuries like that, they go and make a few minor league rehab starts to get geared up for it. And
so how would you plan on him doing that? You're going to pull him out of your lineup to go play in the minor leagues, hit a couple dingers down there, and throw a couple 7-inning games?
They treated it like a minor league rehab assignment when they had him pitching. So they would say, okay, you're going to throw 30 pitches or 40 pitches or 50 pitches, whatever it was early on. I just thought that I thought that they should wait until he was completely ready to go. Like a guy going down to minor league rehab starts would get enough starts to build up to where he could be back to his regular load.
So how would you have the opportunity to build up?
You could do simulated games.
That's not real. It's simulated. Put him in a real game and just play him some.
But then, Bob, why don't the minor league pitchers? Like when a pitcher, I'm sorry, what?
Because they don't want them on the roster because they're not doing anything. That's the purpose of it.
Okay, but they also do it though.
They take up a spot,
right,
and then they go pitch to other players. And so they get them out of that spot so you can put another pitcher in there if you need somebody in your bullpen or rotation. That's the whole purpose of it.
Okay, I think that they should have treated Ohtani though because if you lose Ohtani to another arm injury,
I get
you
that.
lose the hitter too.
That's fine, but this is what he wants to do. When you signed him, you knew that was what he wanted.
Sure.
He wouldn't have went there if you would have told him no.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. That's fair.
That's why he went to the Dodgers at first.
I found it odd that they said they're going to ease him into it.
That's what they would do in the minor leagues.
I understand, Bob, but I'm saying if you're going to pitch him just straight in the majors, I just thought they should have waited. Look, he did great.
But the thing is, wait for what? At some point, you've got to be able to go. And why do you need to be able to go 7 innings? Why can't you go 3, then 4, then 5, and build him up on a pitch count? You have a bullpen. It's not like he's your 3rd or 4th guy. You're pitching him in the 5th spot anyway.
Yeah.
Most of those games are half bullpen games anyway.
Right. He signed to be more of a 1 or 2 starter, number 1 and number 2. But I thought it was just odd, Bob. That's all. I was proved wrong. I will admit I was proved wrong on that one. That's good. I have no problem admitting that.
Well,
but
it's because it's become a common occurrence.
No, it has become a common occurrence, Bob. I'm not going to let you get away with that one. Coming up next, top of the hour, we'll hear from Ryan Day as we preview Ohio State, UCLA, and the rest of the college football slate. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
No school means no lunch for millions of kids in the summer. Let's come together, food banks, families, and generous individuals like you to make sure no child goes without food in the summer. Together, we can make a difference. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/summer.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand. a mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence. We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine, and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum. Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to find a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research. Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Final hour of the program. Final hour of the week for us. Tito, Bobby, Big Mo with you. Bodie back on Monday. And Ryan Day had the Ryan Day show yesterday. And one of the things he talked about was the running back rotation. Here's what Coach Day had to say.
I think CJ, you're seeing is a little bit more of a role, but he can do everything as well. You've seen him do that. I mean, they all can do it all, but there are certain things that each guy does a little bit better than others, and sometimes we'll try to do that, but it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the play's in. We don't have time to get it all organized that way, and plus there's a rhythm that you have to play with, and I think to get the right guy in the right spot every single play, it's a lot of manipulation and slows the game down. So we want everybody able to do everything. But at the same time, there are certain things that guys do better than others that we'll try to make sure we emphasize.
Bob, with the running backs, it feels to me that the biggest home run threats still are Jackson, even Isaiah West now. Has Donaldson been what you thought he would be when he got here?
Yeah, I mean they use him in short yardage, and he's probably their best pass blocker. You can use him, get out in routes and do stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised even if you start seeing it blended a little bit with what he brings to the table with his flexibility with blocking and receiving, that maybe you see two running backs on the field at times. We've seen a little bit of that. And I think Ryan has even alluded to that they could do some of this. And so we've seen some of it. Yeah, I think he's been what we expected when he got here. I mean, it wasn't like he was some crazy highly recruited guy that came in that they poached. I mean, he was a guy that was an H-back at West Virginia. They converted him to running back, and they were able to pull him over through the portal to give him some running back depth, in addition to James Peeps, my man Peoples, and while the younger guys developed. And we've watched Isaiah West and Bo Jackson develop pretty rapidly here.
I feel good. I feel better about the running back depth than I did when the season started, as far as I feel just a lot of questions, I think, early on, but I feel like they've settled into a good rotation as it is. Like, I do believe Bo Jackson should get the majority of the touches, but if he had to, if he missed a little bit of time in a game with an injury or something, if he had to leave the game for like a quarter or something, I'm not worried about how the rest of the running backs would step up.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and they've kind of carved out some different roles. Peoples has been a guy that's caught a couple, more balls out of the backfield. Donaldson's still been the short yardage guy, use him some blocking. And then Isaiah West, they've tried to elevate and expand his role over the last weeks. I think you'll probably continue to see that, assuming that he plays well. That Ryan says, like, you play well, you earn a little bit of trust, then you get to play, then you get to get some more and have bigger opportunities to go do that.
We'll play a couple of clips here. We'll start off with this first one here. Ryan Day talking about why so many teams are using the 12 personnel now.
Well, when you have tight ends who are athletic enough to line up as receivers and then come in the core, you can probably put the most stress on a defense when you have guys who can do multiple things. So I think there's a couple different ways to look at it. When you look at the Rams, the Rams are playing in 11, but sometimes they line up in 13 groupings. If people know what that means. That's 3 tight ends with 1 receiver. When you have 3 tight ends who can then line up, and we can line up in different groupings like that, look like 11 sets. It just puts stress on the defense because when they hear the grouping, they're thinking of a certain formation, right, and then they try to match the personnel. So we're always trying to make sure that we're making it hard on them, and we're trying to find that the matchups are in our favor.
They have done a good job of, I do think that the 12 personnel is a standard thing there now with them, and they I've been happy with the tight end play this year. As I continue to be. I feel like Ohio State has done a damn good job in going back to even Urban's time of recruiting tight ends that fit into this offense.
Well, they always want tight ends that can block. And so when you get here, they force you to learn how to do that. And that was a big thing when, Max Clare getting here. I mean, developing his blocking and getting that rolling. They don't really want one-dimensional guys. And I think that's a testament to them for bringing in guys who, have receiving ability. And then with that, they ultimately turn you into a total package player, which isn't always easy. Some guys are resistant to it because it's not the sexy thing to do to go out there and block, and it doesn't always feel good in the run or the pass game. But you know what? That's how you get better. That's how you become like a fully rounded guy.
Julian Sayin talked about how the tight end room impacts the offense.
I think just having, so many weapons on offense, having Max Clare, having, Bennett Christian, having Will Kazmarek, having all those guys on offense, just be able to, spread the ball around and really just keep the defense guessing.
It's the first time I've really heard him talk a lot right there.
Me too. I know. When I heard his voice, I was like, I haven't heard his voice very often, so it's good to hear what he sounds like there. But I guess that's probably a good thing. But anyway, I know that Max Clare doesn't necessarily probably have he doesn't have the stats he had last year at Purdue, but I got to believe that, like we talked about with Austin the other day, that I think that he's improving his draft stock as we're going forward here, and still plenty of time, obviously. Hell, he'd come back next year for a nice payday, hopefully, and stick around with the team. Here is Ryan Day talking about the Lincoln Keenholz package.
We've had a couple different packages for Lincoln and hasn't quite, the timing and whatever hadn't quite shown up in the games yet, but that was a good time to hit it, and I thought the whole thing was well executed. I thought the line did a nice job there, and C.J. Donaldson did a good job getting movement, and I thought Lincoln, on contact really drove his legs through it, and so it was good to see him get in the game, and hopefully we can build on it.
I think, Bob, that we'll see more of that in the next 2 games leading into Michigan if they have an opportunity to do it. I mean, I'm not going to force it in there, but if they have an opportunity to get to bring that package in. What did they call it? Do you remember what the name of it was? The package, the Lincoln. There was a nickname for it. I can't remember, the elephant package or something like that. I can't remember what they called it. But
the Elephant Man.
So I think that I think it's a decent weapon, a decent thing to be able to use.
I think they call it the herd package.
The herd package.
HEARD.
That one.
They said we're going to dump on you.
Case, Bob.
Bobby's got jokes today.
Oh, you give Bobby a day off or a time off, I should say. Look what happens on that one. But I think it's creative, and I hope Lincoln. I just seeing what that guy can do as an athlete. I hope they employ it a couple of times here if they get the opportunity in the next 2 games.
Yeah, they put that on film just to get people to obviously watch it. It's now a lever that they have inside the red zone that people can see, get the Q run going there. I mean, Lincoln also is an adept thrower, so it's not like putting him in eliminates your ability to throw the football. So there's a lot of great opportunities you're going to have. And, I know Lincoln's been working his butt off there and staying ready to play in case he needs to go in. And, if not, I mean, he's going to go do some great things in college football before it's all said and done. And he's a next level player. So I'm excited to see him continue to develop, and I'm excited they've been using him in some of these different ways.
And, Bob, I'll stand by the fact that, or I'll bring it up again, that you said that he's an NFL quality quarter. He's got NFL potential.
That's not me saying that. That's people I've talked to, who do evaluations.
Here is Ryan Day talking about what sticks out with the defense.
I think they're fresh. It seems like they're playing fast. They're seeking contact. They're playing violent. They're knocking back the line of scrimmage. And it was good to see them get their hands on a ball. And I think we've put an emphasis on turnovers, and there was like 3 or 4 balls that popped out, and you could see the intent. We knocked the ball out on a couple of them that popped back to them. One that was already down, another one that was on was considered an incomplete pass on Sonny. So we've really been working hard on that part because we know this time of year turnovers are going to be critical. So we're hammering that on both sides of the ball, but that's important. There was a couple really, really good plays just in terms of running to the football and being physical, and you saw the hit that Caleb had there. And I think they understand situational football as well. I think they enjoy the preparation that goes into it. The defensive staff is putting the game plan together each week to try to put these guys in a situation, and then solving what is the riddle each week of how is the team going to attack us. So I think the physicality's there, stopping the run, and we work to continue to force teams to drive the ball down the field. Keep it in front, not give up X plays, but then create turnovers.
I'm amazed, Bob, that the defense, in my opinion, is better than it was last year, and we've had really good players depart the program.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of developing those guys for the next round to come through there. And he said, there's guys seeking contact, they're playing fast and physical, all the things there. And then it's also a function of what Matt Patricia has done, utilizing some of those guys' unique skills and being able to put them in the best positions to be able to have success too.
I think Patricia's back next year.
Yeah. I don't know why he wouldn't be.
Okay.
Ryan's going to fire him?
No. I didn't know if there's an NFL element forthcoming for him, maybe an opportunity that way, if he would still stick around here. That's all. He obviously hasn't announced anything, or he won't say anything. There's no need to do it right now. But I didn't know if being around him and being around the program, if you got a vibe that he's that this
got 1 foot out the door.
This is more of a destination than a stopping point.
I think I've addressed this on here with you before, where he, when he got here, we had some long conversations and talked, and I did not get the sense, without speaking for him, that he was someone that was looking at this as a stopover place. I mean, I always tell people, look at what they do in their personal life, and that'll tell you a lot of what they value and where they're going to, what the decisions they are going to make that maybe are not just career-based. I was like, he came here, he bought a house. His kids are ingrained in the community here. They're really happy with everything that's going on. I think they've really enjoyed it thus far. I think he enjoys working for Ryan, which is, great. There's tougher guys to work for in this world. I mean, he lets you run your side of the ball and treats you like a man, and he's a guy that values similar things that Matt does with his family. So I know that he's fairly happy here with that, and not that I'm saying he couldn't leave, but I can't imagine him looking to leave or taking something that wouldn't be an unbelievable opportunity. And he's a guy that's won multiple Super Bowl rings and done a lot already. He's been an NFL head coach, and I don't know that he necessarily is looking to do that again.
Were you surprised that Chip Kelly left after 1 year or not?
I was, until I heard the offer that he received, and then it made sense. He was getting to work for Pete Carroll, making $5 million a year, just coaching, just being a D coordinator or an offensive coordinator.
Right.
So that was, I think, and plus Chip didn't have any kids.
Okay.
He had come here and he wanted to help with Ryan for a couple of years, but I think he ultimately wanted to get back to the NFL, and everybody knew that. I don't think that's the case with Matt.
Here is what has been the difference between Texas and to now. This is Julian saying.
It's been fun just, developing and getting more comfortable within the offense. And I think a lot of the guys on the offense, we've just been getting better each and every week. And we're still striving and we're still chasing the best version of ourselves, but we're trying to get better each week.
Do you think, Bob, that they are holding things back, not running certain things, certain formations, certain plays?
Well, you don't.
For Michigan,
there's stuff you always put in that you're going to utilize later. And maybe you show a sprinkling of it or a smattering of it. You try to put things on film, just like we were talking about with Lincoln and what they were doing with his package and some of the other things, the 4 tight ends, and they do this and that. I think that you run a lot of that so people get things on tape, and then there's things that you have that you run that you don't get in every week. There's stuff that you really like, and you're like, well, if we can hold this, let's do it. If we need it, we'll use it. And thankfully, in many of these games, they haven't probably had critical situations where they've had to use or empty their full their arsenal, if you will.
Yeah, and I remember, just growing up, it was always the legend, I should say, but the fact that, Woody always spent part of each practice doing something they were going to employ against Michigan, like doing something Michigan centric. I don't know if Tressel did. Was there like a concern after you were there? Like this
we
is.
Did it. We'd call it Maize and Blue period, and we would do that in the spring and during training camp, and not really during the actual season.
I got you. I didn't know. I remember that about Woody, and but that also could just be legend. I don't know if it's actually true or not.
No, I think that there is truth to that. I mean, a lot of his former players have backed that up, and whether that's 3 to 5 minutes, which is probably what it was during the season, and maybe next week, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the prep is kind of dedicated more towards Michigan than it maybe is towards Rutgers, just based upon how good Rutgers is and what that game's going to look like.
You mentioned witnessing a chilly outdoor practice this week. Here's Ryan Day talking about the intensity, never wanting the intensity to go down at practice.
The goal is for the intensity to continue to increase. Now, there's times during the season where we'll cut out some periods. We may try to shorten practice, but we never want the intensity to go down at all. So, for instance, like this week, typically we have 4 plays of inside drill. We did 3, and that's on Tuesday. But the intensity should never change at all, and that's what we're looking for, especially with good on good. On walkthroughs, okay, now we have to be as intense mentally with our focus, but not as much physically as the season goes on. Those reps can add up on you. But when we're going good on good in practice, we want the intensity to always be the same.
They call that dude on dude.
Dude on dude.
Dude on dude accountability.
That's what it is. I'm curious with the practices you've witnessed on that. How do you balance between intensity and too intense?
What does that mean?
Okay, what I mean is, yes, you want these guys to go out there and practice hard.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be like a game, do you? Because
yeah, you do want it to be a game.
Okay, but I'm saying though, Bob, there's a greater risk. If you're out there going all out all the time, this defense could hurt people. You know what I mean? And you don't want to.
Guys get hurt all the time. I mean, that's why, like Ryan said, sometimes you cut a rep off here or there. They've been doing it like this, but that's how Ian Moore was prepared to play, because they go really hard on Tuesday. They put themselves in ultra competitive situations, and so they do all that. And so, I mean, they're too intense. I don't even know what that means. That's like Bobby Knight with a game face. Like, well, I don't know what it is. You play smart. You're not an idiot.
Right.
Best advice Michael Scott ever gave Dwight, changed his life. Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
You tell your guys, don't be an idiot. You're playing your teammates here. So let's be smart. And that's part of being a pro. Like when you get to the NFL, like learning how to practice.
Right.
Learning how to practice really hard and really intense, but also being smart about it to make sure that you don't hurt yourself nor your teammates.
Maybe that's the way. Okay, then maybe that's a better way to look at it.
That's about how you frame the question. How do you practice really intense and hard without risk of injury? Well, yeah, there's always a risk of injury, but you do it the smartest way possible. And understand that things can happen. But you also understand that those are your teammates there. And so if you have a chance that maybe there's things that you would do in a game that would be a last resort that it's really going to the ground. That's what it all comes down to. Like, you do not want to be on the ground, because that's how guys get hurt, falling into people's legs.
Okay.
So practice hard, practice smart, stay up, stay off the ground. And that's what you'll hear coaches yell all the time.
I know, Bob, we talked about this years ago, but I don't know, probably filling for Rothman one day or something. But it always is interesting to me how players want to hit you hard in games.
Yeah.
But they don't want to necessarily injure you. Like, think about a receiver going over the middle, okay?
Yeah, you want to make sure that guys understand that there are consequences for certain actions on the football field.
And that's the part that
you're not tackling guys and giving them rib shots. That's not what he's talking. Like, he's talking about inside run, toughness. Like, and they even have rules. Like, dude, you hit guys when they're square and straight up. You're not diving at some guy's legs at an angle to risk the roll an ankle or blow an Achilles or blow a knee out or something.
I get that with Brian Day. I'm talking like in the NFL, in games like when you're playing in the NFL and you want to send messages, physical messages to the other team, but
like that message that Jack Tatum sent to Stingley. Charlie Murphy was
Charlie Murphy reinforced it. Yes, no, but you don't want to. But you don't want to, Bob.
They're blinking because that's the only thing he could do.
But like, I wonder how as a player, I know you just like in the moment, how do you stop? Like, how does it react?
You condition yourself to play a certain way. Your habits become how you operate.
But there's guys
when you're born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your habits. And that's true in every walk of life.
That's deep.
That's what she said.
Coming up next, we'll tell you what's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, you know that chronic pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulders, whatever joint it might be, it can make life feel impossible. But at QC Kinetics, there's a breakthrough treatment that's giving patients relief, some cases even within 1 day. It's called stem wave therapy. This device has been used for over 20 years in Europe, and it's made its way to the United States. And there's a groundswell of demand for the treatments because the patients are getting real relief from acute pain, and they're spreading the word. Here is the most interesting detail. The device is both a diagnostic and therapeutic, helping Dr. Ray Tesner and the medical team at QC Kinetics find the problem and then trigger your body's own natural healing response. StemWave uses the same technology as lithotripsy, the sound waves that penetrate, spark blood flow, and more cellular activity. That's exactly what you need to promote healing and relief. Wondering if this is a good solution for you or your pain? QC Kinetics is making it easy. Your first treatment is only $49. So call for a consultation and ask about the $49 treatment right here at 380-208-4544.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be a son.
I was what he needed. And he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Oh, Bobby. That's one of the greatest things.
I shared it with Maddie and Rothman yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that ever made air. I watched all the Chappelle Show episodes, and I've watched it like 20 times.
Yeah.
Because listening to Charlie Murphy talk about flipping Daryl Stingley out of a wheelchair, he's like, as a culture, as a society, we just can't do things. But I play by my own rules.
Play by my own rules.
Stomp his mouth. The only move.
The only thing trembling was his eyelids.
That's top-notch
as a
comedy.
culture, as a society, we just don't do things like that. But I play by my own rules. Like he does it. The best part is about Charlie Murphy, R.I.P. Gosh, is there's like not even an ounce of remorse. Like, yeah, I kind of came at him a little hard.
Right?
There.
No, but I
went over there. He knew I was serious. But he said, "I'm going to show that man a mirror."
Remind him.
The Prince story, the
Prince
Rick
story.
James thing. I mean, those
I'm
are.
trying to think. I got to talk. One of my dudes, the guy who actually, if you ever watch Get Up, and they've showed him on there, my man Brandon, he's their stage director, and he worked as Dave's PA the whole time on Chappelle's show. And he told me the last time, he's like, I drove him up to Teterboro. We didn't know it was the last show. Dave did, but he didn't tell anybody. He's like, gave me a big hug. He's like, all right, man, I'll see you. He's like, yeah, I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. Like, come back and film the rest. Nope, he'd already talked to Comedy Say it was done. He knew it was a fight and it was over. And I'm gonna text him because when they shot Charlie Murphy just in the green room, green screen stuff, like, did they just sit down and be like, hey, tell me some stories?
I've seen something about it. That's literally what it was. I think it was an interview with Chappelle. He said, we realized the more we talked to Charlie, the stories he told were just classic. And
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, just set up a camera and let him tell stories.
And we'll build sketches off of his stories.
It's amazing.
He's the real content creator off all that. It's like we joke, like, which Murphy would you rather have alive? That's Beverly Hills Cop. Fuck me, you calling him. I mean, it's amazing. Like him telling that story. I'm like, Darryl Stingley, and it hits closer because now his nephew Derek obviously is a very talented NFL player. But like Jack Tatum being the other part of that story, the connection back to Ohio State, with it, he's like outlining how it happened and got paralyzed and everything else.
Tatum played with your dad, didn't he? In Houston?
Yeah, in Houston.
Yeah.
He didn't remember playing with my dad, but he did.
He didn't remember playing with your dad?
Not as of 2005.
Wow.
Tatum's dead now too, right?
Oh yeah, he's up with the Queen.
He's up.
But he was the best. He came and talked to us, and I always say he looked like Frederick Douglass. That crazy little fro.
Yep.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
But he was telling us some stories. And then my mom, he was at the game. My dad went up to talk to him, and my mom goes, you could tell he had no recollection of playing for the Oilers. Like zero.
Wow. And
it was just his last year. It was just one. But the reason why Bum brought him in was, if anybody's ever watched the NFL films, it's one of the biggest hits ever. It's Earl Campbell and Jack Tatum on the goal line. And it's just those two guys straight up in the hole. And boom, they hit. And I mean, if there was ever a chance for a loss of matter,
right,
two human beings hitting each other, both of them knock each other out. And you can see when they hit in slow motion. I always say you can watch. It's when your computer, you get the circle of death. And nothing can happen right there. And then they both just kind of stumble into each other. It's like Rocky and Apollo. And the fact that Earl Campbell just outweighs Tatum by probably 30 pounds. He just kind of falls over him and falls into the end zone for a touchdown. But Bum goes, I'd never seen anyone hit Earl like that before. And so when they were getting ready to move on from Tatum, he's like, I'll bring him in. And my dad said that's why we were good. He's like, they didn't really ask Tatum to practice. He didn't have to hit anybody during the week. Just go out there and play ball on Sundays.
I heard Rothman's interview with Earl Campbell. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, Gold Jacket interviews.
Yeah, Gold Jacket interviews. And Earl sounds like he doesn't recollect a lot.
Oh, I'm talking to
I mean,
Earl.
they just all hit so hard back then.
The thing was, they didn't even hit in practice with Bum. Like, that's part of the reason why he could even probably play as long as he did. But I mean, Earl would come out there because obviously Wade coached me in Dallas, and we had Earl come to a couple of practices. And remember, I rode with him at the golf cart. You know, we were in the Alamo Dome. We had to go up to meetings, and I'm talking to him, and he can't walk. He's got drop foot. And just talking to him, and I'm like guiding him through some of the stories and things that my dad told him, like leading question, leading the witness, if you will. And he was like able to do that. But that was 20 years ago, 18 years ago that was the case.
Wow.
You know, and so there's a lot there. So whenever people ask how my dad's doing, I said, well, relative to a lot of the guys that he's played with, he's still vertical, which helps, and he's still cognizant, which is key. And he can still walk and move around. So he's got those three things going for him. Charlie Murphy's not telling stories about him with his eyelids trembling.
There's the new Netflix thing came out a couple of days ago, Being Eddie.
He has a whole Eddie Murphy
documentary, yeah. He talks about
they waited too long. They needed Charlie in there.
Well, I guess in that he talks about Charlie a little bit too, obviously, but it's about Eddie Murphy, his rise to fame and everything, and I'm curious what he said, what he's going to say about Charlie, though. But
I mean, I love Eddie, but I honestly probably like Charlie more. After seeing the Chappelle show and watching him tell that story, you know, I live by my own rules.
Look,
talk about flipping a man out of a wheelchair.
For Charlie Murphy,
without remorse, just says it 20 years later right into the camera like, Man, I probably shouldn't have said that. Daryl's gone now. No, he was, I'm going to come in and stomp your mouth because that's the only thing that's moving.
I kind of liken Charlie Murphy to to a Don Mattingly or a Grant Hill, who had such a short window, like in the pros, Grant Hill, before he gets hurt, and then he's never the same. Like Charlie Murphy's window should have been much longer, much bigger than it was, but he was so good in Chappelle's show. And I remember he was in some of the movies now too. I saw him in Harlem Nights. He had a minor role in that one.
Great in that one.
Yeah,
he's almost funnier now, like looking back at his old stuff.
Yeah,
knowing how like good he was, you remember that, and just kind of like plug that into being able to watch him.
I thought I saw Eddie somewhere say Charlie was the funniest Murphy in the house.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that also. All right, let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, Bob, it's Friday. I think that's going to put it on you to get us rolling here on What's Got You Juiced.
What's got me juiced is getting a chance to share some more Charlie Murphy from Chappelle's show with Mo, who hadn't seen it yet. Watching Bodie watch it, he was a child when Chappelle's show came out. And like I said, that was one that just popped in my feed. And I've got a couple little group texts with guys, sent that to them. People were just dying laughing. Like, where did you find this? I'm like, it found me. That's how I knew it was destiny. Joshua Perry's like, this isn't even real. He's like, how can people say things like that? But it was just awesome to see that. So that's got me juiced. I had a little hoops practice last night. The nice 7:15 to 9 o'clock window.
Oh.
That's the beauty, Clark. Getting home at 9:15 after mixing it up with that. And some other positive news. The two gents that are staying with me, our two, we'll call them our exchange students. My wife, they got what's called a walkover. They both had lost in the singles. And the guys they were supposed to play in doubles yesterday in the quarters, they both lost in singles. And I think one of them goes to Tennessee, another one went to Georgia or something like that. So they both just left.
Oh.
And he's like, so we got a walkover, mate. He's like, we got the semis today.
Right.
So they're playing today in the semis around 3-4 o'clock. So I'm excited to watch them. And then watch the high school football. I believe we have the regional semis today, if I'm not mistaken. So
Pick
a lot of
Central.
Yes, Pick Central is Arlington's playing. I think on the other side of that is Olentangy Liberty versus Olentangy Orange.
I think it is. I think because Olentangy's out.
Yeah, so that was who won on play. So I think it's Liberty versus Orange. So that's the other side of the bracket. Great football being played in Central Ohio. So that's always fun. I'm not sure if you still have this Lil Wayne cut in here. You know what? We're just going to throw it back to the early 2000s once again.
His name is Uncle Bob. He came into an apartment one day. He busted in the door, guns drawn. He saw nobody. He saw legs on the floor. It was my legs. He saw blood everywhere. A bunch of police hopped over me. He refused to do so. I never knew. I talked to him the other day. I never knew EMS was on the scene. He said EMS tried twice and they told him there's nothing. He refused to let that die. He told his somebody come drive this car, forget an ambulance. He brought me to the hospital himself. He refused to wait. He kicked in the doors. He said you get whatever you gotta do and you make sure this child make it. Not only that, that day, Uncle Bob was a homicide detective. He was off on detail. He just heard the call and came. Not only did he refuse to sit, not only did he just get me to the doctors and leave, he refused to leave. He stayed and made sure that I made it. I saw Uncle Bob the other day. I saw Uncle Bob a billion times other than that in a restaurant a few times. He refused to let me pay for his meal. He refused to let me tip the waitress or the waiter. He refused to let me do anything, take care of anything. I saw him the other day. I said, Uncle Bob, let me help you in any kind of way. This man has 2 amputated legs. He refused to stop. He's not in a wheelchair. He's walking. You know what he asked for? A job. To my fans, to my family, to my supporters, to BT, to Uncle Bob, to YouTube, I refuse to stop. Thank you.
I love that dude.
I had no idea about that story.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was absolutely blown away by it. And Lil Wayne's obviously had a lot of success in life, but the fact he was on the floor and there's a guy that invested in him that much throughout his life and never wanted anything else, thought that was pretty great to hear on this Friday. And then also last night, I believe it began debuting on Prime Video. I would encourage anybody to watch it. It's Redemption. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes story of 2025. Really good piece they put together with a lot of the guys. There may or may not be a cameo of me in there during some of the interviews, but super excited to sit there and watch that this weekend and be able to take a look at it. It's on Amazon Prime. Yep. So if you've got that, go check it out and watch it. If you are a fan of the 2025 Ohio State season, it illuminates a lot of things that were brought to light late in the year. Mo, what Schlegel's got to say?
I had longer sideburns and a gut was very evident, but I also thought I looked very sexy. And God bless Steph for hanging out with me, because then that transformed into my Jets picture, which looked like a caveman with a bowling ball for a skull, 20-inch neck and long hair. And I'm not going to lie to you, I looked disgusting. Though at that time I thought I looked very good, I did not.
What would it have been like to have Schlegs and Charlie Murphy in a room together?
It would have been amazing. Those two guys, as soon as you said that, the thought of those two guys together would have been tremendous. Now, they'd have to be at a particular point in their life. Like, Schlegs now wouldn't be as good. Schlegs, like, at 20 with Charlie Murphy would have been remarkable.
Wow. Well, I'm juiced because the Buckeyes are playing at night tomorrow. And I love going to a Buckeye game no matter what, but a night game is just it's so awesome.
And it's going to be awesome weather.
It's going to be great weather. And I always look forward to, I get the privilege to go down to the sidelines before the game. I always want to see who's at the game each week.
Right.
You know, who gets to show up and who maybe you haven't seen for a while, or just somebody that you've always wanted to see. But it's great that we're having a night game finally again. And I wish UCLA was a little bit better, but it's still a classic matchup.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I see, like, I feel the same way when Ohio State plays USC.
Yeah.
You know, just like because of the old Rose Bowl games, you know, and things like that. And did you guys play UCLA while you were here, Bob? You didn't, did you? You didn't play UCLA Ohio State when you were here.
No,
I think Tressel's first year they did.
They did 2001.
Okay, that's what it was. And yeah,
I believe that was they had to move that game too because of 9/11.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That was the first game immediately post that, so they had to shift it because they shut down obviously air traffic.
Yep.
So I'm juiced about that. I'm juiced. Last night I was a part of an event where we got to give away 2 tickets to that game, and that's just a lot of fun to see people who have never even had the chance to go to a game,
right? Yeah,
a Buckeye game, get to win tickets and go. I'm excited for them. They have great seats and a parking pass as well, so they've got a great setup. So I'm juiced about that, and actually just juiced for a weekend where I get to spend some time with the family. That hasn't happened a lot.
Right.
Though on Sunday, I got to give a shout out to my wife. She is going to be in the hot chocolate run in downtown Columbus. So shout out to her. She loves doing the 5Ks. Now, she's a walker. She's not one of them that runs them, but she does at least 5 or 6 5Ks during the year.
Oh, okay.
Which I just sleep in.
Yeah.
You know, somebody said, well, it's something you guys can do together. And I'm like, she might walk a little further than me. So I don't know that we'd be doing it together. But yeah, that's what I'm juiced about this weekend.
I went to the red carpet event for Maurice Hall's new movie last night. I couldn't stick around for the movie because we had kid commitments, and but I did go there right before they went on. I got to see Maurice for the first time, like talk to him for the first time since he was a sophomore at Brookhaven. Last time I talked to him. It's been quite a while, though. But it looks like to be a great movie, though. Go check it out. It's open in theaters today. You can go check it out. Worst Christmas ever. Coming up next, we will wrap things up the best way we know how. A.J. Hawk joins us. Morning Juice.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you've hit your medical deductible, now's the time to see Dr. Mark Levy. Get a custom oral appliance that stops snoring and helps you ditch that CPAP and pay less out of pocket. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com before the year ends.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Don't let your insurance benefits go to waste. End the year sleeping better with Dr. Mark Levy's oral appliance. No mask, no noise, just results. Hurry, deductibles reset soon. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com today.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps.
I'm dead sexy.
You're locked into Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Time for a little AJ.
A man with many career achievements. Leading tackler in Centerville football history. Leading tackler in Green Bay Packers history. Still afraid of Larry Knopfsinger. And the crowning achievement, the third member of the Island Boys, AJ Hawk.
He is AJ Hawk joining us here now on Morning Juice. And I tell you, AJ, this Ask AJ thing has really taken off. We got a few in the hopper already. Let's go right to those.
If you come to a fork in the road, ask AJ, he'll help you know. Helmet shining, number 47 bold, he'll point you right where you should go. Just ask AJ.
Pancakes, waffles, or French toast, AJ?
Oh, man. Probably depends on my mood, to be honest with you, but I would probably take pancakes out of all those.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that's how the mood is striking you now. You know, Jeff went to Brookhaven, noted alum, or maybe unnoted alum. Some of the more notable alums from there, guys like Terry Glenn and Maurice Hall, who we played with, who's debuting a movie, Worst Christmas Ever. They had their premiere last night, and he went there, and we had him on the show. We were talking to Maurice earlier this week. What would be your fondest memory / like best Mo Hall story of your time together with him at OSU?
Oh man, Mo Hall's awesome. We were just talking about him recently and how he's legit actor, producer, director, filmmaker. He does it all. I feel like writes the scripts. He's a super talented dude. Mo Hall, I just remember from day one walking in to at Ohio State, and I remember Mo Hall was one of the first people I saw. Honestly, it might sound like corny or cheesy. I remember Mo Hall just smiling so big and being so nice. And I remember thinking, like, oh, this is great. Like, these guys really welcome us in. And obviously everybody isn't Mo Hall as open and fun and cool and nice, but he was always really cool to us from day one, and he can run about a 4.140, so that didn't hurt either.
That question right there came from Little Italy, by the way. This one from Patrick. If there was a biopic on Schlegs, who would play you in that biopic?
Oh, Denzel Washington. That's my answer no matter what. I'm a huge Denzel fan, so if I ever, hopefully if someone has to be cast as me, hopefully Denzel's still up for it because he's my guy.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't think of someone better to play you, AJ. Just appearance, personality, everything all rolled into one, really coming strong with that. How was Paris Island?
Oh, it was awesome, man. I was out there on Tuesday on Veterans Day, and I'd obviously never been there before, so just getting to see it and see how, it's been around for so long, and like hearing the history about it, and then seeing a bunch of the Marines there. Some of them were already, through their training and were doing more training and different things, and others were right in the middle of it and just started too. So kind of getting to see the different ranges of where people were in their journey to become a Marine was pretty cool. And getting to talk to them afterwards as well was great. They're walking around, they're full kitted up with their machine guns and their full gear, and their couple dogs were out there as well. I was talking and petting their military dogs. It was just awesome, man. Like I didn't know what to expect going in, but it exceeded all my expectations. I hope to go back at some point.
Did you dress up in like the fluff suit and have the dogs, those German Shepherds and Malinois, just like chase you down and try to tear you apart?
No, the big bite suit. No, yeah. I did not. I have done that before, but that was when I had my dogs. When I had Beacon, I put the bite suit on a few times and let her take me down. But I did not do that. These dogs are big, man. Their one was like 96 pounds. He's a shepherd. He was real tall with a huge head, and he was real lean. That thing would, the second that they release that dog, I'm guessing whoever's hiding is going to come out right away.
Jeff from Middle Half wants to know, who was your favorite wrestler growing up as a kid? Professional wrestler, obviously.
Oh, boy. So, I don't know, it's an old throwback with Bob Backlund. I don't know if you ever heard of Bob Backlund.
Yes.
Bob Backlund in the knee walk. He's a crazy psycho-like fitness guy. I love that about him. He's still doing it. So, I don't know if he's getting to wrestle as much, but he pops up every once in a while. That was my guy, for sure.
So, take us back, Age. They've got the Michigan game is away this year, just like it was 20 years ago when we finished up. Got a couple games left in the shoe for these guys, these seniors and guys that are going to be leaving and departing. What did you know? When we started to wind down, Northwestern was our last game. I think we had Illinois kind of close before that. I mean, was there a sense of finality to your career when you start coming down this stretch and get to the month of November?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I guess in the moment back then, I didn't really let myself think about that a whole lot at the time. But I remember, our last home game, thinking, okay, this would be a little bit different if it was a Michigan home game at home. If that was our last home game, I know with our last home game, knowing we had Michigan coming up the next week, that kind of kept me from thinking about it a whole lot. But yeah, it is weird when you think about it. Your time does go super fast, and a lot of guys obviously don't stay 4 years. So yeah, I think I even started thinking about that during my junior year. Like, man, this is pretty awesome. We should really enjoy this. I would always try to remind myself of that, even way back then. But yeah, it's definitely a weird situation, I feel like. And with these guys too, the guys that are going to be drafted and graduating, or the guys leaving early, they know though, we have our season is about to start for real. This is when everything truly, truly matters, when the college football playoffs and everything come about. So it is a different spot for them, but man, I just hope I'm sure they'll just keep their heads down and keep working like they have been.
This might be a dangerous question, but Kyle wants to know, which teammate in college was the best drinking game partner?
There's plenty to choose from. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go Bob. Bob, we know you're never going to quit. We know that. And whatever the game may be, I think Bob is a very ultra-competitive person, but he's also a very fun guy that's going to bring everybody up around him. So, yeah, I'm taking Bobby, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Age. The relentless pursuit of excellence is what I've always been about. No quitting this guy. And I was kind of pumped when one of Nick's buddies, he threw out the fun Bob, and they're like, oh, he used to tell stories about you. I was like, man, that felt really good. Honestly, I was glad that was immortalized a little bit.
Absolutely. Fun Bob. Yeah. That's Nick always loved that and loved hanging out with all of us, and especially you when Fun Bob would come out. But it's true. Yeah. That's, you want to be somebody that makes everyone around you feel good about themselves, Bob. And that's what you've always been. Always been the guy that wants to make sure everybody's having fun and having a good time and checking on them. And that's a great thing, I think, for people to talk about.
Little Lily also wants to know, doesn't want to know I'm asking for this. Little Lily says he's in a bid battle on eBay for a stitched A.J. Hawk Ohio State jersey. Said it's really hard to find a good A.J. Hawk OSU jersey. I don't know what the current bid is at. How much do you think, when should Little Italy bow out of the bidding?
I mean, I don't know where he's at now, but he should probably just bow out. Go if you want to. I don't know how you find a jersey. Go try to. You can probably make one online somehow, much easier, and get a knockoff version from somewhere way across the world where they make them for cheap, I guess, because you don't need to get anything authentic. You don't need it stitched. But yeah, I'd say bow out now, especially if it's above $20 or $40.
The $47 it looks like is the current bid.
Yeah, I'd say tap out. That's all. You don't need to go that high.
What AJ, it's now November 17th or 14th. Monday is the 17th. Halfway through the month. We're getting close to about a month out of Christmas. When do you start your Christmas shopping, or have you already completed it?
I never really completed. I mean, I always seem to find myself at Myers on Christmas Eve night because they're always open, and trying to finalize what I need for my wife usually. But it's kind of I'm kind of a planner, so I kind of have been ordering stuff throughout the year. I think I've told you guys though. It's the old Clark Griswold. I've lost many presents for my wife around the house that I bought in July, and I hide somewhere in my closet or in the basement, and then 5 years later, oh, here, look at that, that's cool. I remember when I got that for you, and I'll re-gift it. So I'll probably have a couple of those I'll find, but I've been buying stuff online for a little while because my kids, my daughter especially, she likes to, so we ask, hey, we need to know what you want. We don't want to just get you garbage. What do you need? And we try to take care of that stuff, early.
AJ, how many Big Ten teams do you think make it in the playoff this year?
How many are in right now if you project it? Three?
Three right now.
Man, I mean, at least three. Can we sneak four? Can we sneak four in there? I don't this whole situation, first off, however they put the brackets out, how the visual of it is just weird to me with all the teams lined up to the left and then the brackets over to the right. And the numbers, they confuse me. I honestly don't fully understand everything. But I think we can get four in there. I sure hope so. I think the Big Ten is showing to be very deep. I know that's the whole argument. And people want to crown the SEC and give them 11 teams into the playoff. But, I think we should at least get four.
So you're saying the Big Ten is more of a grower conference than a shower conference?
Maybe, yeah. And as the season goes, yeah, they get better. The colder it gets, the bigger they get, which isn't always the case, Bob.
Been my experience.
I don't try to follow that one up. AJ, with Ohio State's got these next two games with UCLA and Rutgers leading into the big game against Michigan. What are you looking for out of this Ohio State team in the next two games?
I mean, just don't take a step back. I think just keep taking care of business like they have, and it sounds like obviously what Ryan's doing, their foot is on the pedal, and they are not letting up at all. But yeah, just come out there and prove to everybody that you are who you've proven to be all year, and that there's no reason to worry, and they keep doing what they're doing, that they can go into Michigan and get things done. But yeah, just even if there is even little moments of adversity or whatever, how do you handle it? How do you bounce back? If there's a turnover or a team scores on you, how do you come back that next drive? I want to see how you can respond, because at some point, there's going to be some adversity in the playoffs, whenever it may be, to where you're going to be in a position the team hasn't really been in throughout the year. So I think just kind of getting calloused, as they say, as you're headed into the toughest part of your season.
All right, final one here, Ages, before we get you out of here. Are you coaching basketball this year?
I am not. No, I'm hung up my whistle for basketball right now. Nah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could have if I would have tried. Maybe they'd have said, "Now you're good." But I didn't try to go coaching again this year. got middle schooler, high schooler, and then my little guys. I let the professionals do that. Like, having a good basketball coach is gigantic. It's unbelievable what a good basketball coach can do for a team, and just as far as like help side defense. I see my daughter now, and they're coached very, very well. And I could have never got out of these kids what these coaches are able to get out of them, and the discipline and the communication and how they help each other. So no, it's probably a good thing I'm not coaching basketball anymore.
Don't sell yourself short, Jeffrey.
AJ, we appreciate it, buddy. Safe travels. We'll talk next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was AJ Hawk doing us there. By the way, Bob, the Little Lily said the bid's up to 50 now. Ends at 3:30.
You said you wondered if you could get it signed. I'm guessing we could. Probably figure that out.
I didn't want to answer that for you, but I was going to ask you off the air. We could probably get it signed.
Sure AJ would be more than willing to sign it. It's just a function of like being around him and getting that done.
So there you go, Little Lily. There's your answer right there. Bobby thinks we can get that signed for you. The AJ Hawk jersey if you end up winning.
I just hate carrying things in the back of my truck, waiting for the time to see AJ, and then half the time when I see him, I forget anyway. So.
I would drive it out to him, and if wherever he was, I'd drive it out to him and get it signed for one of our listeners.
I don't know if he would feel comfortable with me revealing his address to you.
You act like I don't know his address already. You don't think I stalk you guys, former Buckeye linebackers?
I mean, AJ's like, listen. Then there's a lot of security to get through there.
I'm crafty, Bob. I'm very nimble too. I can climb over big fences or go underground if I have to. I can.
He's got a nice arsenal out there. They're outside of the city limits. So, I mean, he's got his father-in-law chopper.
Okay, let me think about this, Bob.
Old vet. I mean, he can sit there and fire away. They said he's a marksman.
Okay, think about this, though. If I were shot trying to get into AJ's house, wouldn't that be great, temporary, but great content?
That's right. As long as you're carrying your selfie stick.
Right. I absolutely would be.
So I can see your face, and that's what I need to see is what it looks like when you've been shot.
Okay, so Bob, what I'm saying is, though, like, not that I'm any kind of celebrity, but it would be on the local news, wouldn't it?
I don't know about that.
More because AJ's house that I got shot at. I think that
maybe that's an unnamed assailant was
shot
breaking in.
You don't think it'd be a great story? Tito from the Fan caught breaking into AJ's house.
It could end up on Facebook, maybe.
I'm telling you. I think that it would be. I would.
Mark Sanchez taking 3 shank wounds to the torso. I'm still putting that in higher regard.
Yeah,
your amigo Mark Sanchez.
A shot in the leg might be a long way from the heart.
Yeah, that's only. I wouldn't want to get shot anywhere like above the waist. Because nowhere I get shot, I'm probably going to bleed out anyway. It doesn't really matter. That's a great way to end the show. Thank you to all the juicers. Thank you to AJ Hawk and Lee Sterling for joining us today as well. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Big Mo. And we're back on Monday.